What exactly have they done? I saw the furloughs being
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us today. It's just after 4:30 on the 17th of December 2020. This is the meeting of the North East Derbyshire District Council's Cabinet. We'll get straight on with the agenda. First item is apologies for absence. Do we have any, Nikki?
None have been received, Chair.
Okay, lovely, thank you. And then any declarations of interest which any members wish to declare? No?
Not received, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And then minutes of the last meeting held on the 12th of November. Have we all had a chance to have a look at those? And are we happy to confirm them as a true and accurate record? I can see indicating, so we'll accept those then. Thank you. And then the next item is a paper for me, which is a review of the council plan. So we did receive this or a very similar report at full council back in November, which obviously has as an attachment the presentation which Karen gave, highlighting some of the key achievements, which obviously we can go through very quickly. But things like freezing council tax, the introduction of the older people strategy. Lots of work around the BSL charter and supporting children in care and care leavers. A heck of a lot of work around climate change and the work that's gone into the strategy there and the actions that we've been taking there, as well as improving services through the transformation programme and supporting parish and town councils. Lots of work with Ricknold as well, as we know. So there is quite a lot of really good, positive improvements that we're making there, despite the impact that we've had through COVID. We know that COVID has impacted on delivery of certain aspirations within the council plan. And as a result of that, and as a result of a few other issues, there is a request within this report to amend some of the key performance indicators in relation to some of the council plan aims and ambitions. So that's what we're being asked to do. We're being asked to note the achievements made in the council plan as in the appendix 1, and also to approve changes to the performance framework as outlined in appendix 2. I'm happy to move that. Is there a seconder?
I'll second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Parkin. And any other comments, any cabinet members wish to remark on any of the achievements in their areas? No. Oh, Carolyn, would you like to come in? Councillor Rennick?
Yeah, just huge thanks to all departments and for all the cost working. I know that we had some benefits have helped us enormously in economic growth. We had a new director start in the middle of all this and staff changes, and I think it's been a tremendous effort. And we've, it would be unfair to let this opportunity pass without saying there's lots of other targets that have been achieved that weren't even actually official targets in terms of numbers of businesses supported. So huge thanks to everybody.
Absolutely agree. And one of the key ones that wasn't in the council plan originally, because who could have foreseen it, was COVID itself and our community response to COVID, which has been absolutely tremendous, and absolutely echo the thanks there to all the officers for all of the incredible work over the course of this year, which really has been incredible. So thank you for that, Councillor Rennick. Councillor Kenyon?
Yeah, just to add on the climate change work, I think compared to 2 years ago, we're in a hugely better position as a council now. It's got a lot more focus throughout the whole council, and the work that we're doing is starting to, we're taking a lead in the county as well on the climate change issues, and I think that's a reflection of a lot of hard work by the officers and political choices that the council have made, full council have made to pursue that crucial long-term issue for all our residents. So yes, that's really, really good progress that we're making on that now.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Councillor Kenyon, for that. Okay. Any other comments from anyone? If not, it's been moved and seconded, so I'll move to the vote. All those in favour? Brilliant, that's carried. Thank you very much. And then we move to the second report, which is an update on performance from July to September, so quarter 2 of the current year. Kath, do you want to just give us a brief summary of where we are with performance at the moment, and highlight any specifically any areas where we're that are sort of flagged?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So obviously members are aware that with this a huge amount of targets in the council performance framework. So on the summary side, overall, there's 105 targets, of which 42 are on track, so that's 40%. 25 of those 25 targets have been affected by COVID, and they're detailed in the appendix, so you've got some information around those. But essentially the COVID ones are ones such as where it's delays to delivery of projects or protocols or strategies. So there's no reason that those documentation won't be completed, but they're going to be completed a little bit later than envisaged because we've had to divert resources to frontline services rather than developing strategies. But as cabinet members will be aware, teams are obviously trying to do both. They're trying to develop things for the future, but also react to operational needs at the same time. And also some events have had to be postponed because of obviously COVID restrictions. And the other sorts of areas of where we have chosen to divert resources. So for instance, some of the initiatives like litter picks and school patrols, things like that, we've had to divert to other business needs at this point in time. But once again, these things will be coming back onto the scene as resources allow. And then obviously the obvious one is leisure facilities, and obviously that's been affected by the closures of the sites at various times. So obviously the numbers are lower than the original targets for footfall. But once again, this is a temporary situation, and we expect those numbers to pick up throughout the rest of the council plan period. So they're really the things that have been affected by COVID. We've already achieved 9 of the targets in the framework. And then the only one we flagged this time is on alert is the one Environment 05, which is deliver 4 proactive planning enforcement exercises per year. We popped it on alert this time because it's not likely that we will achieve that for this year. And you can see from the report that that's essentially, whilst planning are obviously trying to address enforcement issues as they arise, delivering proactive enforcement at this time is proving difficult because of enforcement capacity and recruitment issues. So that's why we flagged it as alert. We're not expecting 4 proactive exercises to be undertaken this year. And that's the only one we have put on alert. The others are either on track or been affected by COVID for the sorts of issues that I've outlined. Obviously, this report's got the ones under review as well. So it'd be good to see at Q3, this will be a much tidier report, and it should be clearer as well. So that will make it easier for members and the public to view the council's overall performance.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Kath. I think, yeah, you're absolutely right on the enforcement issue. Obviously, that's only relatively recently we've taken the paper to increase capacity in that area of the council. So hopefully that, albeit won't be achieved this year, it hopefully will start to pick up and improve in the forthcoming year. Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions or comments for Kath? Charlotte, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to expand shortly for anybody watching on that planning enforcement target. I think, as you say, absolutely right. We've recently approved as Cabinet the planning enforcement protocol and also the service review. We've now got additional temporary resources in place, which are clearing some of the long-running cases and making really good progress. Actually, I've been discussing with the head of planning and with Karen. And then obviously going forward, we're hoping to recruit permanently early in the new year. So hopefully we should be making a lot more progress, but we are making a lot of progress at the moment anyway. So just wanted to expand on that for people.
Brilliant. That's a keep it. A quick question for Kath. Are there any other targets which are particularly sticky or frustrating and aren't moving on as they should be? Obviously, we discussed enforcement there, but that's sort of been covered. Are there any other targets that we ought to just be aware of?
I don't think at this point in time. I mean, obviously the COVID thing's not going away, is it? So those that have been affected by COVID, it's hard to know what will happen with those going forward. But I think outside of the COVID ones, no, there's nothing that in the report that it's been raised with me to raise more than I have done. So to be honest, I think it'd be good to get the Q3 one when it's a lot tidier report and more manageable in the numbers, and then I think it'll be easy to see that. But no, nothing springs to mind, to be honest. So no concerns to report.
Okay. Thanks, Kath. We're being asked to close the report, so I'm happy to move that we do so. Do we have a seconder? Yeah, thank you, Councillor Rennick. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. And the next report then is over to you, Councillor Powell, for the report on delegated powers under Antisocial Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act.
Yeah, the purpose of this report is to review and confirm the designation of Ricknold Homes as the appropriate person or authority to issue community protection notices under Section 43 of the Antisocial Behaviour Order. As we know, antisocial behaviour is a problem that we take very seriously. And this report in many ways clears up one or two things that need to be brought up to date. It clarifies some of the issues that need to be dealt with. And we also seek in this report to make sure that Ricknold are also the appropriate tenancy related enforcement action. So unless there are any questions, Chair, I would move the recommendations in 6.1.
Thanks, Councillor Powell. The only quick question from me, I don't know whether Karen or Jill could answer this, whether this only designates Ricknold Homes to be able to issue CPNs, but we as a council are still able to issue them presumably as well, our environmental health service. I can see Karen nodding, so I'm assuming that's okay.
Yes, we issue them through our community safety team and our legal department. So yes, we issue community protection notices and community protection warnings, yeah. So
this is just about giving Ricknold the ability to do that as well then?
Yeah, the delegation, yes, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Councillor Rennick, you had a question.
Yeah, well, same question as you originally about who actually has got the CPN. So how many people altogether between the two organisations, and what's the qualification for this? Is it an individual person's? How is that monitored in terms of competency and?
There's no qualification. It goes through our legal team, so it's a legal process. It's a local government power, which we have similar to issuing a fixed penalty notice, etc. So we have the power to issue a community protection notice. I know that Lisa's on the call if she wants to add anything, but we have authorisations and delegations from the council's constitution, and it comes down through that. So we have delegated powers on behalf of the council to issue community protection notices. We have to have an evidence, so we have to have the evidence base, and we have to be confident that we can win a case or a dispute in court. But yes, we use our legal team and our authorised officers to issue them.
Thanks. Okay. Is there anything you want to add to that, Lisa?
Thank you, Councillor Dale. Just to say that all the community protection notices, because they can be appealed, they do come through to legal. So any across either the council or Ricknold Homes, they come through to the legal team. We've already got templates, usually come through to myself, so we've got a bit of consistency as to what's contained within them. I was going to make another point. With regards to Ricknold Homes, I think Councillor Renwick, you'd asked how many people are authorised to deal with them. Certainly for Ricknold Homes, what I'm hoping that they'll do, and I'm going to encourage them to do, is actually delegate to specific officers that have received training from legal services, and it is only a handful. This is not going to be a free-for-all where officers can do as they like. So there will still be some controls in place, and and we can review that anyway. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Just wanted to see if there was a consistency there, and somebody was overseeing it in terms of who was issuing these. But that's answered perfectly. Thank you.
And it's so important because we are seeing a slight increase in challenges, not just to the community protection notices, but also to the warnings, which is the pre kind of legal stage. So it's so important that we do get it right.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you.
Councillor Parkin, you had a question.
Yeah, just a quick one. Is it possible? It's probably for Councillor Powell. I don't know, but is it possible to get some reporting on this from Reginald, baked into the management agreement, perhaps? I think it should be monitored. It's an important part of what we're doing as a delegated power.
Yeah,
Over to you, Councillor Powell.
well, just thank you, Councillor Parkin. Yes, I think that's a good point to make. And it's something that I will discuss with the monitoring officer.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Any other comments or questions then on this paper? If not, I think Councillor Powell, you moved the recommendations. I'm happy to second, and all those in favour. Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much. And then, if we can get back to my agenda on the iPad, we move to private session. So, can I thank members of the public for attending and observing the Cabinet meeting today, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And on that note, I'll move that the public be excluded from the meeting during the discussion of the following items of business to avoid the disclosure to them of exempt information as defined in Part 1 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972. Thank you. If we can move to not live.